local, late breaking. This is Newswatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 o'clock on October 8th. Welcome to Newswatch 12. You're taking a live look at Chiloquin, sponsored by the Clamoya Casino. I'm Danny Stepanovich, but first we want to turn over to Storm Tracker Tool meteorologist Sarah Kress. Sarah, what can we expect today? Yeah, this morning heading out the doors, we're starting with clear skies across the region and rather similar to the past few. Here's a look out at Medford from Peoples Bank on Biddle Road. Temperatures sitting at 47 degrees. Around the rest of the region, 33 for Klamath Falls, 27 over into Lakeview, Christmas Valley and Shamal at 28, 38 to Montague, along the coast into the 50s, Grants Pass sitting at 43. We still do have time for these temperatures to drop, so it is a chilly start to your day. But despite that, it still will be warm into your afternoon. Just high temperatures aren't going to be as warm as what we saw yesterday and the day before, only making it up into the mid to upper 70s in the Road Valley today. Also, you'll notice as we switch over into the afternoon, we'll start to see some clouds develop, switching over to partly cloudy sky conditions by the time you're ending out your day. So in general, our highs are going to be a little less warm today, closer to seasonal. We have the possibility for some isolated late day showers into the evening, and winds are going to turn gusty into your afternoon for areas inland. But here's a closer look at those high temperatures around the region into the upper 70s, like I mentioned, for your west side valleys. East side will be into the 70s today, the lower end, and then as we're over into Northern California, still dealing with 70s, but along the coast it is going to be feeling a little bit less warm, into the 60s only today. So switching more into the onshore winds, keeping those temperatures under control. But if you're heading out in the next few days or want to enjoy that outdoor weather, I strongly recommend heading out into your Wednesday. There is a possibility to encounter a shower on your Thursday, but still not bad. But Friday is when we're expecting a wet weather, gusty winds, and also some higher elevation snow along with it. So I'll have more details on what you can expect in the days to come coming up in your next forecast. Thanks, Sarah. And we're continuing to track the local impacts of cuts to transportation funding after the passage of COTEC's transportation package. Last week we told you about impacts at ODOT, and now the Rogue Valley Transportation District has some more routes. Just a month ago, the district cut routes and services due to federal funding cuts. The district says they are hoping to add more morning services for those commuting to work.
So recently we received some of the federal funds that have been held back. We haven't gotten all of them, but it was enough that we were able to look at when our next drop of funding is going to be and how long we can provide service, and found that there was enough money to be able to add in a few extra hours in the morning.
The funding to add services and routes will come from Transportation Bill 3991, which just passed in the House. But the district says that funding is still up in the air.
The transportation bill, things are up in the air. The governor has not signed the bill yet. Once the governor does, the Republican Party has stated that they're going to send it to referendum. If they do, it's going to delay the ability to actually collect the tax and delay the ability to actually put it towards service.
If sent to a referendum, the transportation package will be placed on a ballot for a vote. For more information on services and the package, head over to kdrv.com. CAL FIRE and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife is planning to conduct a prescribed burn near Big Springs throughout the week starting today. CAL FIRE says the burn will be off Nelson Road and will cover 120 acres of grass and juniper to improve wildlife habitat. Portions of Big Springs could see smoke impacts for a few days following the burn. And despite cooler temperatures and last week's rain, multiple fires popped up yesterday. Newswatch 12's Grace Ritz attended a fire open house to learn more about fire safety.
Super happy to be invited into our home, and we're happy to share that with you.
Medford Fire Station 16 hosted an open house where families and residents had a chance to get an up-close look at the station and what the firefighters do, all while learning about fire prevention that could save homes and lives.
Now, fire station open houses are not just for the fun, even though I did enjoy getting my fire helmet, learning my information, and even getting a chance to use the fire hose myself. It's also a time to make sure that families and kiddos understand fire safety and know more about lithium-ion batteries that could be in their houses.
I don't want to scare folks about it because, 99% of the time our lithium-ion batteries are totally fine. Where we get concerned with it is when either like overcharged, perhaps you're using chargers and cables that weren't designed for the type of battery that you have, or they're being charged in situations like on soft furnishings of pillows under, on your bed or something like that. So there's ways where we could be a lot safer.
Lithium-ion batteries aren't the only topics on the table, and even though it is fall, fires can still start when the weather cools down.
And so we're going to be talking about a lot more cooking fires, a lot more heating type of fires. So like with space heaters, we want to make sure space heaters have plenty of space around them. We say about 3 feet. Make sure you're unplugging them.
After learning about fire safety, families and kiddos got a chance to sit in the driver's seat of a fire engine, wear the gear, and even practice with the fire hose. I had a chance to try it out too.
So what I've been told is all I have to do is pull. We're aiming for a cone. You can't really see it. I'm hitting it pretty good though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Reporting in Medford, I'm Grace Ritz.
If you couldn't make it out to Fire Station 16's open house, Station 12 will be hosting one on Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m., so mark your calendars if you're interested. And speaking of fire prevention, Jacksonville just hosted their biannual Wildfire Community Preparedness Day to reduce flammable yard waste. Jacksonville Fire and other community partners collected and disposed of the waste at no cost to residents. Jacksonville Fire says the event helps take meaningful steps toward creating a more fire-resilient community. Their next Preparedness Day will likely take place sometime this spring. And the city of Wairika is also planning a prescribed burn at Greenhorn Reservoir in the next week. The project will cover 20 acres of brush to reduce fire risk and improve habitat and watershed health. Smoke will likely be visible in Wairika and along the I-5 during the burn. The Greenhorn Reservoir, including the disc golf course, will temporarily be closed during burn operations. And multiple fire agencies in Jackson County responded to a real incident after a man fell 300 feet down a Rogue River cliff in Prospect. Search and rescue, local fire agencies, and the technical rope team used 400 feet of rope to lower search volunteers and pull the injured man to safety. Newswatch 12 reached out to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office to learn more about the rescue operation and how to prevent the need for another one.
I would just tell people to stay away from the edges. They're not marked. They're out in the middle of the woods. There's no guardrails or protective barriers to keep people out of there. And this person's fortunate to be alive. I mean, that was a long, long fall.
The man sustained serious injuries after his near 300-foot fall. After his rescue, he was airlifted to a hospital to treat those injuries and remains in stable condition. And the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue and CAL FIRE teamed up for a joint swift water rescue training. Since drowning is one of the leading causes of accidental deaths in the U.S., these crews are making sure they're prepared for kayaking accidents, submerged vehicles, and any kind of emergency. Joint training doesn't just improve communication in a real scenario, but also helps these teams build on each other's skills and experiences. And new this morning, Rogue Community College and Western Governors University announced a new partnership with a goal to make life easier for local students to earn bachelor's and master's degrees right here in Southern Oregon. The agreement creates a transfer pathway for RCC graduates and employees to continue their education online through WGU plus scholarships of up to $3,500 to help make it happen. And a local high school in the Rogue Valley took a field trip last week to get some hands-on experience in the wilderness. Phoenix High School science students led by Mr. Stolp went to the Pacific Forest Trust Mount Ashland demonstration forest. This field experience provides students a chance to study the forest ecosystem before a planned controlled burn later in the year. Students will have the chance to go back into the spring to analyze the post-burn environment, all while learning the benefits of responsible forest management and fire ecology. And looking ahead to Saturday, Central Point Parks and Recreation is inviting everyone to help bring the new Flanagan Park Pollinator Garden to life. Construction on the garden wrapped up earlier this week, and now it's time to plant. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., volunteers can help with various plants. All you need to do is bring gloves and some shovels if you have them. And get ready for the 2025 Monster Dash in Ashland because it's taking place on October 25th. We're now just a little over 2 weeks away from the 17th annual Run for Education. With free family activity village, costume contests, and giveaways, this event has something for the whole family. But it's not just fun. The Monster Dash supports grants in the Ashland Public Schools every year. And there's now 18 days left to donate to our 35th annual Coats for Kids campaign. We've already seen tons of donations, but we want to make sure every local kid has a coat this winter. If you have a new or gently used coat, you can drop it off at any of our 50 donation barrel locations. A full list of barrel locations across Jackson, Josephine, and Klamath counties can be found on our website at kdrv.com.
And looks may be a little bit deceiving this morning because we're starting off rather chilly, but we're in for some changes later today. We'll see a little bit more clouds increase, isolated shower chances by this evening, and then we could see that continue overnight and pick up a bit into your Thursday before we head into Friday and are expecting widespread rain, gusty winds, and even some higher elevation snow. And we'll also see those temperatures drop a bit through the next few days, making their way back into the lower 60s for west side valleys. I'll have more details on what you can expect in the days ahead coming up in just about 7 minutes.
Also coming up, the U.S. government shutdown continues as federal workers start to feel the impact. We'll have the latest from the White House. Plus, the American Heart Association says people aren't getting enough fiber. We break down the data in our Health Watch coverage later in this newscast. But right now, you're taking a live look at Mount Shasta, sponsored by the Mount Shasta Resort. Thanks for choosing Newswatch 12 this morning.
You're watching Newswatch 12 this morning. Live, local, late breaking. Newswatch.